Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on a fascinating figure, Court Gentry, the gray man, ex-CIA, now sort of a phantom operator.
Yeah, and we're digging into Mark Greaney's novel On Target. We'll use bits from the book, reviews, to really get inside Gentry's head and his operations.
People have strong opinions. David Stone said the writing's like stainless steel, and Gentry himself is mean as razor wire. High praise.
And booklist notes, people might think Jason Bourne, but, well, Gentry's his own beast entirely.
That's what we want to unpack, right? What's his code? How does he even function when it seems like every job involves a double cross? He gets betrayed like 3 times in 1 week here.
Well, first off, you gotta understand, he's not exactly in peak condition at the start. The source material shows he's just months past getting shot and stabbed.
Oh,
Yeah. And he's trying this self-imposed detox. He's been hooked on Vicodin, OxyContin, heavy stuff. He actually left them behind on purpose.
so he's fighting withdrawal while trying to be this elite assassin. That's
Yeah.
a choice.
It is. And he's got this code, right? He's working for Gregor Sidorenko, a Russian mob boss, but only takes hits he thinks are, let's say, righteous, or at least lean towards morally neutral.
Morally neutral assassination.
Okay, it's a fine line he draws for himself. So this brings him to Ireland. Health Harbor, just got off a freighter from Lithuania. His target, Dougal Slattery, tracks him to a pub.
Okay, but wait. If he's all about righteous hits, doesn't this Dublin job immediately blow up his whole code?
Exactly, that's the kicker. He takes out Slattery, then Slattery, with his dying breath basically, revealed he was Sidorenko's old go-to guy. And Gentry is the new lad. Sidorenko ordered the hit himself, not some client, just needed a job opening.
So Gentry just killed a guy to audition for Sidorenko.
Pretty much, and Slattery got his job the same way, by killing an Israeli. Gentry realizes instantly he's been played. His first move here is a complete failure by his own rules.
Wow. Okay, so no time to dwell on that. He heads straight for Russia.
Yep. Grabs a corporate jet, flies to Rzhevka airfield near St. Petersburg. He wants answers from Sidorenko.
And what's Sidorenko like? Not your typical movie mob boss, I gather.
No, not at all. Described as small, tiny eyes, looks kind of unhealthy, but radiates power. He's an accountant, actually, who figured out that in the new Russia, you need, well, both brains and serious brutality.
And he makes sure Gentry gets the brutality message.
Oh, yeah. He tells this absolutely chilling story about watching a guy, Natan Bulachova, get thrown into this, industrial vat.
Oh, no.
Filled with solvent for stripping lead paint. Took the guy over an hour to die. Sidorenko tells this story calmly. It's his way of saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm capable of.
It's intense. Sets the stage.
Definitely. He even has a portrait of Stalin. Quotes him, "Death solves all problems." Classic Sidorenko.
Yeah.
Calculated. Ruthless.
So after that charming introduction, Sidorenko offers Gentry the real job.
Right. Forget Slattery. The new target is President Bakri Aboud of Sudan. Sidorenko calls him Oryx, and he pitches it as, helping to end genocide in Sudan.
Blending pure evil with a twisted sense of justice.
That's Sidorenko's style. Interestingly, his security is weird. Loads of guards, 10 times more than Gentry could handle.
What?
But they're described as skinheads, kind of sloppy, gears poorly maintained, trash everywhere. It's quantity over quality, which, to someone like Gentry, probably screams vulnerable.
Right, finding the weak points. But he doesn't even get to decide on the Aboud job, does he?
Nope. Before he can really process it, he gets picked up. Not by Sidorenko's guys, by his old life.
The CIA.
His former team. Led by Zach Hightower, Sierra 1. They grab him at his hotel in St. Petersburg.
So Gentry's got this shoot-on-sight order hanging over him from some past screw-up, right? Back in 06.
No, a major fuck-up is how Hightower puts it. But suddenly the SOS is on hold. Why? Because the CIA needs him.
For another hit.
Something more complex. Operation Nocturne Sapphire. The mission isn't to kill President Aboud, it's to kidnap him.
Kidnap him? For what purpose?
To hand him over to the Euros, meaning the ICC, the International Criminal Court, for prosecution.
Okay, that's a big twist. From mob hit to international justice.
But there's another layer. It turns out the kidnapping isn't just about getting him to court. The real play, the deep game, is to pressure Aboud into turning himself in voluntarily.
Whoa. So Gentry's basically a pawn in a massive diplomatic coercion scheme.
Pretty much. A very lethal pawn, but still a pawn. And he only agrees because they promise to lift the SOS order CIA and Interpol and offer him lucrative contract work later.
But he can't trust them. Does he talk to anyone higher up?
He does. Gets on the phone with Denny Carmichael, director of the National Clandestine Service, asks why the SOS order existed in the first place.
And Carmichael tells him,
Nope. Shuts him down cold. Says, and I quote, "It is probably better for everyone's sake that I do not tell you."
ominous. Reinforces that Gentry is completely expendable.
Totally. And his trip to Sudan proves it. He flies in on this massive Russian Il-76 transport plane.
The Candid.
Right. Owned by Rosoboron Export, the Russian state arms dealer. And guess what it's carrying?
Illegal arms.
You got it. And instead of landing in Khartoum, the capital, it gets diverted straight into Al-Fashir, Darfur, middle of a war zone.
Just drops him right into the fire.
Yeah.
And that's where he meets Ellen Walsh.
Exactly. She's a Canadian lawyer, new to the ICC. She's there with fake UN papers, investigating. And she immediately gets suspicious about this huge Russian plane and its crew. Starts asking questions.
Which is bad news for Gentry's very secret kidnapping mission.
Terrible news. Her questions could blow the whole thing. So Gentry makes a really cold tactical call.
What does he do?
He sacrifices her. Reports her to the Sudanese secret police, the NSS, basically flags her as a nuisance.
Oh, wow.
Gets her arrested immediately. The Russian pilot, Orlov, slaps her. They drag her off to the ghost house, this notorious detention center.
But Gentry can't just leave it at that, can he? That moral code thing kicks back in.
It does. He feels responsible. So get this. He steals a motorized rickshaw, siphons some gas, or grabs a road flare, creates this massive fireball at the ghost house entrance. Total chaos. Uses the diversion to bust her out, confirms his identity to her as 6.
Okay, rescue mission successful, but there's a cost, right?
Always. To keep his cover during the escape, he has to kill 2 NSS guards. Quietly.
Does Walsh know?
No. He lies about it later. Decides she would not have been able to handle that piece of information. It's that ruthless pragmatism again. Murder to protect the mission and the person he just saved.
That's a complicated moral space. So they escape, but how do they get out of Darfur?
They hook up with an aid convoy run by this guy, Mario Bianchi. He admits he's been bribing the Janjaweed rebels to get safe passage.
Let me guess. The bribes don't work.
Predictably, no. The convoy gets attacked. Gentry has to improvise big time.
What's he do now?
Finds some welding gear, acetylene and oxygen tanks, rigged up with an alarm clock. He basically creates a truck-sized concussion device.
Seriously?
Yeah. It works, maybe too well. It accidentally launches one of the huge tanks like a missile straight into a truck, stops the attack cold.
Unbelievable. But the escape isn't clean.
Not quite. As they're getting away on horseback, Gentry sees 2 wounded Janjaweed fighters who could potentially slow them down or raise an alarm. He executes them. Quickly. Efficiently. Walsh sees it. She's absolutely horrified, calls him a war criminal.
How does Gentry respond?
Bluntly. I am a killer of men. He sees it as necessary for their survival. She sees pure brutality. Huge clash.
Okay, so after that ordeal, they finally get to the main objective area, Swakin.
They do, but the plan immediately falls apart. Nocturne Sapphire was built around this planned attack by SLA rebels.
Yeah.
The rebels never show up. CIA intel was garbage.
So plan B.
Straight to plan B, direct action. Gentry goes in solo while Hightower's Whiskey Sierra team provides support. He hits a bank lobby where Aboud is.
How does he handle the guards?
Uses this high-tech toy, an acousto-optical stun device like a flashbang on steroids, incapacitates everyone, grabs Aboud.
Clean snatch. But the exfil gets messy.
Oh, yeah. Just when you think it's all high-tech warfare, Gentry gets shot with an arrow.
An arrow. Seriously.
Fired by a young boy, Adnan, using his dead father's longbow. Hits Gentry right in the shoulder blade.
That's insane. How does he even deal with that?
Pulls the truck over, has to yank the arrow out himself, forces Aboud, his hostage, to help him.
While bleeding out from an arrow wound. Okay. And here's where it gets even weirder. Aboud is surprisingly calm through all this. And he's the one who drops the final truth bomb on Gentry.
Which is?
That the whole CIA operation, Nocturne Sapphire, wasn't really about forcing him to the ICC. It was an elaborate setup to make him choose to go voluntarily.
A manufactured crisis to give him political cover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Aboud claims his survival, and going to the ICC this way is the only thing preventing wider wars fueled by Russian and Chinese interests in Sudan.
Gentry must feel like the ultimate fool at this point.
Played by everyone. And then absolute chaos erupts. Hightower's team runs into a Sudanese helicopter.
Okay.
But it's full of Chinese special forces. The Flying Dragon unit, a firefight breaks out. Almost 30 Chinese soldiers are killed. Oh, God. International incident doesn't even cover it.
Precisely. The White House freaks out. Terrified of starting something with China. Operation Nocturne Sapphire. instantly aborted.
And the new orders for Gentry?
Kill Abood. Now, cut losses. Eliminate the problem. Forget the ICC, forget diplomacy, just make him disappear.
Wow. The moral high ground just evaporated.
Completely. But Gentry, he refuses. He's actually convinced now that Abood telling his story at the ICC is the best way to prevent more conflict. He decides to stick to his own revised mission.
Deliver Abood alive against direct orders.
Which makes him target number 1 for his own side. This leads to the final, most personal betrayal.
Hightower.
Hightower calls him. The line is chilling. He says something like, "Court, lucky day for you. You're my secondary target. Pretty sure I only get 1 shot."
And he takes a shot.
Takes it. A .308 boat tail round. Hits Abood square in the head, misses Gentry by inches, mission terminated, Hightower followed his orders.
Gentry's alone, Abood's dead. How does he escape?
He realizes Hightower set him up completely. The escape plan involved a CIA yacht, the Hannah. But the homing beacon was planted on a different boat, the Fatima, which is immediately attacked and starts sinking.
Death trap.
Yep. But amidst the chaos, Gentry finds something unexpected attached to the sinking boat. A mini submarine. Secretly stashed there.
Incredible.
He manages to get himself and the now badly wounded Hightower into this sub. It's a desperate escape, underwater, barely functioning.
And even then, Gentry's trying to get answers.
He is. He's pressing Hightower. Who gave the original shoot-on-sight order? Why me?
Does Hightower finally crack?
No. Even wounded, possibly dying, he's loyal to his orders. Says something like, "I'm a good soldier, Court. Orders are to make you dead, not make you dead unless you save me."
Wow. Loyalty to the bitter end.
Gentry leaves him in the sub, signals Hightower's private backup associates of Sir Donald Fitzroy to retrieve him. Gentry chooses survival.
So he gets away, but he's not done.
Not quite. He makes it to Venezuela eventually, but first he tracks down that Russian pilot, Orlov.
The one who slapped Alan Walsh.
Right. Gentry coerces him into giving evidence to the ICC about Russia shipping illegal arms to Sudan, a final act of maybe balancing the scales.
Tying up loose ends. Maybe getting some small justice. But his own problems aren't over.
Far from it. He learns from Fitzroy that he's now being hunted globally by a specialist, a Dutch operative known only as the Manhunter.
How's this guy cracking someone like Gentry?
And this is the fascinating part. Not through high-tech surveillance, not satellites. He's tracking Gentry's operational footprint, the small contacts. Specifically, a boatman Gentry used in the Amazon for, marine salvage, basic logistics.
Following the physical trail, the human connections.
Exactly, which tells you everything about Gentry's vulnerability. He went from taking a mob hit to navigating CIA plots, surviving near war, and now the biggest threat is someone patiently following the breadcrumbs left by his need to move and fix things discreetly.
So the gray man, this ultimate operator who tries to do good outside the system, finds the system closing in using his own operational needs against him.
That's the irony. And the source material leaves him literally stripping off gear and running into the Venezuelan jungle as this manhunter gets close.
He survived detox, betrayals, arrows, seemingly impossible odds. But thinking about this manhunter and how he operates, what do you think is the one core vulnerability that someone like Gentry have? The one thing this hunter might exploit?
It has to be his lingering shred of humanity, right? Think back to Sudan. He risked everything to save Ellen Walsh after he put her in danger. He even saved Hightower, the guy who tried to kill him seconds before.
His inability to completely cut ties, to leave people behind.
Yeah. That need to help, or maybe clean up his own mess, leaves a trail. The manhunter doesn't need to outfight Gentry. He just needs to find the person Gentry trusted, helped, or even just interacted with out of some sense of responsibility. That connection, that moment of trust or kindness. That's the thread the hunter can pull.